This story comes from the pages of Venom War Zombiotes Issue number 2. Please support the official release. The next issue begins where we see She-Hulk engage a group of zombified symbiotes who attempted to feed upon a group of horrified children. Dashing away, the hysterical youths thought maybe just for a moment they were safe, only to be grabbed by yet another swarm of rotting zombies who were all too happy to turn them into their next meal. Having enough holding back, a quick-acting Jennifer then used her strength to punch one of the creature's heads off, saving the young girl, who was all too delighted to see the Avenger come to her rescue. The boy was then promptly saved by quick-acting Overdrive, who, despite being a villain, clearly was no monster and was not about to let some kid get got. Even good old Shocker got in on the fun, where he proceeded to cave one of the undead's heads right in with the mysterious coffin-like box he had stolen from the armored car in the previous episode. During the commotion, Herman made his way to the wrecked vehicle from before, where he was rather hyped to see that his trunk still worked. Having no clue just what the guy was doing, Overdrive argued with Shocker, telling him that protecting these children was way more important than what was in there, where the man had to disagree. Things would quickly go from bad to worse, where Shocker witnessed the zombified Venom Speed Demon overpower Overdrive, where the man pleaded with Herman to save him. Actually having a heart for once, a rather impatient Shocker then blasted the zombie off his teammate, angrily demanding just for a moment's rest so he could finish his mission. Thanking the man for the assist, She-Hulk told the team that they needed to get these kids to safety, where Shocker straight up told her good luck with that, where he went back to exploring all of this mysterious junk he had in the trunk. Fighting off more swarms of the seemingly never-ending hordes, She-Hulk was then attacked by her fellow infected Super Hellcat, who stopped at nothing to turn her as well. Knowing she was not in control of her actions, Jennifer tossed the girl into a nearby car, where she then used her otherworldly strength to grab the door and then wrapped it around Patsy to prevent her from harming herself or others around her. Seeing more of New York's finest literally climbing out of buildings toward them, Overdrive asked Shocker just what they were going to do, where he then saw the man had retrieved what appeared to be a body bag of some kind, where he proceeded to run for his life with it. Baffled as to what exactly was going on, Overdrive came to his senses when he saw the street the Shocker was going towards, claiming that this was actually genius and possibly the safest place in the city where they could go, for this was the infamous supervillain hideout, the bar with no name. We are then taken to this bar, where we see its owner, Priscilla, cleaning tables and hanging out with her dog Sparky, seemingly unaware of the undead invasion that was going on outside. She would then hear the doors burst open, where she'd be greeted by possibly the most random sight even someone like her would have witnessed, where she saw She-Hulk holding a zombie, Shocker holding a body bag, all while escorting two horrified and sweaty kids. Honestly, probably not even the wildest thing to walk into a New York City bar. I'm sure my New Yorkers watching this can vouch for that. Telling She-Hulk that Avengers were not allowed in this bar, Overdrive then told Priscilla that they kinda had bigger fish to fry right now, as the undead unrelentingly tried to make their way inside. Correcting the man that her name was Hilda, she then pressed a button underneath the table, which activated a series of metal doors and windows that sealed every opening around the building, locking the undead out, at least for now. With Overdrive wondering if these doors would be enough to hold the rotting aliens, Shocker then informs him that they were perfectly safe, for not even the strength of someone like She-Hulk would be enough to pierce them. With Jennifer confirming this as fact, she would then set the infected Hellcat down, where she would make a disturbing discovery. During her battle with the woman, She-Hulk somehow managed to get scratched where she noticed a large cut on her hand. With Overdrive wondering just how this was even possible, we discovered that Hellcat was much more powerful than we all realized, with her claws being sharp enough to cut the flesh of even Hulks. Comforting the team they had nothing to worry about, Jennifer told them that her superhuman healing factor would keep her immune, where she then asked Hilda to get some snacks and sodas for the terrified kids so they could finally have a moment to relax. Walking over to Shocker, we would see the man once again bring out this mysterious coffin box where he made his way to the body bag. With Jennifer demanding to know what was going on, Overdrive, also thinking this was weird even for Herman, asked him who was in this bag, with the man snidely remarking, saying that it was nobody important. Absolutely not believing the man for 1 second, Jennifer then reached into this box where she pulled out a mysterious amulet-like device, where Herman immediately snatched it back, saying that it didn't belong to her. He then placed this weird amulet atop the corpse, where the two supers questioned just what in the world could be happening. As the pair witnessed Shocker do his weird voodoo science experiment, we would see Hilda's dog Sparky approach the restrained zombie Hellcat, where we would see the infected woman was still capable of some forms of speech, where she excitedly groaned the word, "puppy," upon seeing it. This is kind of creepy, but I think most of us can agree this is all of our collective responses whenever we see a cute dog. However, instead of reaching out to pet the poor pup, Hellcat used her venomized tongue to lash out and grab the animal, where she proceeded to feed upon it. Things then cut back to Shocker, where we see the man quickly become frustrated, wondering just why his experiment wasn't working. At his wit's end, Herman finally decided to reveal just what he was up to, as we come to realize he was involved with a group called the League of Necromancers, a team of magic wielders who specialized in talking to the dead. We then see that Shocker had lost someone dear to him some time ago, and the League had instructed him to steal this device, which we now come to know was called the Resurrection Stone, which could allegedly bring the dead back to life. Angrily slamming the stone to the floor, Shocker deemed it useless, where Overdrive, seemingly having the most common sense out of everybody, told the man to calm down first and explain just who he was trying to revive so they could hopefully aid in the situation. We then see Hilda prepare to give the kids a drink, only to see that the soda fountain was not working, for it was covered in a very familiar black goo, where she then heard the growling of Sparky from underneath the table. Instantly, the woman would be attacked by the now venomized zombie dog, where it would sink its teeth into her neck, infecting her as well. Hearing the commotion, the heroes would rush to the scene, only to witness the venomized Hilda, who immediately attacked them, leading to a horrifying bar brawl, where she stopped at nothing to infect our survivors. Even the kids joined in by spraying the zombie Sparky with soda to keep him at bay. God, these two are going to need so much therapy if they survive this. As She-Hulk and Overdrive dealt with the infected Hilda, we see Shocker walk away, believing his mission to be an utter failure. Pouring himself a drink, the pieces would come together on just who was inside the body bag, as we see the man look at a photograph on the wall, a photo of himself and the supervillain Boomerang, his former team member who was killed some time ago. As we see this once thought heartless villain mourn the life of his friend that he tried to return, we see that poor Herman may have just had his monkey paw wish granted, as we see the bag begin to unzip itself. Seeing a figure in the corner of his eye, Shocker would be met with the horrific sight of the now revived and rotted undead corpse of Boomerang, who was overjoyed to have his long-lost friend for dinner.